So ever since X passed away back in 2018, I've always wondered what would rap be like if he was still alive today, and what would his music sound like. Will we have more pop-friendly songs like Sad, or more songs with him spitting on some lo-fi beats? I really don't know, and I feel like that right there is what really made X stand out, because we really don't know what was his next move or how his music was going to change up. I mean, we obviously knew that he was working on Skins and Bad Vibes Forever, but I still feel like those projects didn't meet his full potential due to him not being here no more. And if you were keeping up with X prior to him passing away, you would know that towards the end of his life he started producing tracks, coming up with different ideas for his Bad Vibes Forever album, and he even wrote a song for his at the time unborn child Gekko, which he sadly never got to record. And I just say all that to say that X, he was a constantly creative genius, cause you could tell he did a lot of experimenting, which made him so versatile in his music, which is why he was one of the biggest artists of his generation. Even a couple weeks ago on the anniversary of his death, Uzi would give him his flowers by him saying that X was his only competition in music.
I'm not gonna lie, music was a little bit different around that time. And different in a good way. That was like my only competition. Every time I dropped, he dropped, or every time he dropped, I dropped. And he either go number one, or I go number one. Either way it was gonna go, one of us was gonna turn it up.
And what I feel like what Uzi meant by that is that him and X had the same niche. They were different, but their aesthetic has some similarities, cause they both take influence in their music from hardcore metal, especially X. They were both obviously emo rappers, and I'm pretty sure some of their fans intertwined with each other. And most of all, during the SoundCloud generation, they were the two highest selling artists out the gate who both had cult-like fan bases. So I think that's what Uzi really meant when he said that, cause a lot of his peers he was grew with wasn't selling like that besides X. And it isn't just Uzi showing his appreciation for X, but also surprisingly The Game, where he said out his own mouth that if X was still alive, he would be as big as Travis Scott today.
Speaking of a new artist, you mentioned XXXTENTACION a few times in your album. Why was that important for you to show him love?
It was important for me to show him love because he gave his life. He didn't die when he wasn't a hip hop artist. He died after he was a hip hop artist, and that dude was like so talented.
Yeah, man.
He was like, I feel like by now he would have been like,
yeah. And I
Travis
felt
Scott
like
level.
So it's one thing when X's peers say that he was going to be a megastar, but it's another thing when somebody of an older generation says this, because it shows the impact that he had in this music industry. And let me get this out the way too, because I know a lot of people like to talk about cult fan bases like Playboi Carti and NBA Youngboys, but before them there was X's fan base, who was by far the most rampant and die-hard fan base you've seen in hip-hop. I don't even think Uzi stands were like this at the time, because don't no normal mainstream artists have a fan base like this. So for the few artists that do, like Eminem, Nicki Minaj, Youngboy, Playboi Carti, means they have a strong shift on the culture. And while I do feel like they tamed down a little bit since X passed away, they will always defend his name and attack anybody who trying to destroy his image. But man, there's so many more reasons why I could talk about X and why he had the most unknown potential, because even after him dying, he was one of the biggest artists of this music industry. And I know he had a past he was not proud of, but this man was 20 years old when he passed away. Just let that sink in. He was 20 years old, not even old enough to drink yet. And that's what really messes with me the most, because this dude was practically still a kid making all these hit songs, and throughout time he could have perfected his sound and his music could have got better, but now we're just left with the ideas he had for the future, such as projects like Skins and Bad Vibes Forever, and a couple few hooks that he had in the vault. Out of all the famous music artists who passed away at a young age, I feel like X's death hit the hardest. Now don't get me wrong, I love Juice WRLD and his death hit hard for me too. Even when Nipsey Hussle and Pop Smoke passed, I was a little hurt by that, but the thing was, it was personal with me for X, cause we literally was seeing his life change in real time, and then just out of nowhere in broad daylight he gets shot and killed. And it's like the whole music industry wasn't all in shock, cause they seen somebody like X on the verge of being a megastar in this music industry being taken away. But these are my thoughts and opinions on this whole topic right here. Be sure to leave yours in the comment section down below. And do you think out of all the mainstream artists who passed away at a young age, X had the most potential? Cause I do. Or do you think somebody else did? Be sure to leave your opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe. Have a nice day.